Friends. Hello. A very good morning to you. A very good morning. I hope that you are well in health. I hope that you are also good and working towards your dreams. By Thomas Ovele here, your certified coach. Friends, let me talk about this one. Um, friends, we need to teach our young girls, our young women, that um, having not being regretting, let me put it like this. I'm trying to find the right words so that I do not offend any people. Let me put it like this. Any young woman or any young girl or any woman who regrets having having had sex or having had sexual intercourse with someone, and the next morning or in later through the years they regret having that, it does not mean that automatically that is rape. All right. Let me repeat what I said, and I'll get into more details. If you sleep with someone as a young girl, doesn't matter if you're female, you sleep with someone willingly. All right. Maybe you are under the impression that they are your future husband or they are going to whatever. All right, because they during the process of wanting to date one another, there's false information that goes out. All right, and it is that time where also as young women you must be taught to verify these things. That is why we talk about marriage in the African system, that the only way you can get to sleep with someone, it is only when you are married. All right, it is only when we are married. And if it happens that you have sexual intercourse, then families must be sent out to that family to say, your son has done this. Whenever the correct procedure is not followed, there's going to be consequences, all right? Because you go out there and you agree to listen to someone, all right, who sometimes you don't even know. And then they break your virginity or they sleep with you, all right? Even having misled, because there are also women, all right, who mislead men only to sleep with them for what they have. So what I'm talking about, it's not only one-sided, just that when you watch most of my videos, I talk about women because of most of the men issues are not addressed. So I'm not neglecting the other party when I speak about this. So I'm going to repeat it to say women sleeping, regretting sleeping with a man does not automatically go down to rape. All right. There's a lot of young women who are very much negligent, even to older women and the middle ones. They will go to taverns and drink, and then the next day they will say, I was not in the right state of mind. I was poisoned. I was what. It happens also to men. Do you understand? There are men who go to taverns and they drive their cars. They don't know how they arrived at their homes the following day. So who should they blame that? Should they blame that to alcohol? It's personal responsibility, all right? Because most of these women who go to clubs and what, it's not their first time drinking. It's not like the first time you drink at the club and then you don't know what is happening. You are now a victim of, you don't know what happened yesterday. A lot of them, a lot of those who go to clubs and do what and what, they don't know automatically what happened the next day, because of that's what alcohol does. So it's your personal responsibility that when you go to these things, go to clubs or wherever you go, you must take responsibility as a young woman to say, I'm not going to put myself in a situation whereby I'm going to drink, get drunk, and I don't know what happens the next day. Do you understand? So this is where now gender violence comes in as well, to the people gang, to say, let us not be one-sided when we talk about the issues of society. We must not be biased. So women must learn that regretting having sex with someone does not automatically go down to rape. That is why even in court, they lose cases. And after losing cases, they want to say that they are victims, they are what? It is because of in court. That is not your father's place or your mother's place where you'll just go around and you emotionally blackmail them. That is not your husband's place or your boyfriend's place there. There, they listen to facts, they look at the story, they check, were you intoxicated as well when that happened? What was happening? You let this man buy you alcohol. You let this man buy you all these precious gifts that you are receiving. And at the end, what were you expecting? Do you understand? So now today that you want to you now realize how worth your virginity was. Then you go back and say, oh, I was tricked, or I was what? Most of the women who lose their virginity, they don't lose it by rape. All right. Most of the women who lose their virginity, they don't lose it by someone who comes to their doorsteps and pulls them away and takes them by force. It's women who are looking for survival, women who are given money, women who are given alcohol for free. Do you understand? And then at a later stage, they come back and say, no, I was raped, because they regret some of the things that they did. As like men, when you mature older, you regret spending money recklessly to women. So must I go back now and say, no, this woman had tricked me? Then if it's going to be like that, then I will advise any man or any young man, all right, who had spent their money recklessly and was played by a girl to say, I want my money back. It means that was money laundering. It means you were manipulated as a man, because there are many men out there who spend monies, their monies on girls, on young women, not girls, on young women, all right, who don't even love them. After they have used them, they move on to another relationship. So when you address the issues of gender-based violence, as men, that is where we want to come in as well, and that is where we want to reprimand women. And we are not here to lash at them, we are here to teach them, all right, to say, when this happens, what then? When this happens, what then? So as an African, as an Africanist who supports Africanism, let us move swiftly. Let us look back into, why did our forefathers say, a man, when you are ready to marry, you must go to your father and say, I'm ready to marry. Because at that time, your father has the necessary resources to have you married, to say, you can marry into this family, you can marry into this family, and then you get married. When you are of age as a young woman, that is why we do not want you to go around sleeping around, and then at the end of the day, you go around accusing people of rape, because now you are ready to be married, but your status has dropped, and now you go around accusing a man. The man is successful, and then that's when we can say, but a man who lives in a shack, when you have dated them, you laugh about them as young women. You don't go back and say, no, he raped me, but you laugh about them. But all these women who go up and become rich and they support their families and what, now because of you feel that you are entitled to that, all right, that's when you say, no, this one had raped me. When? But I've never seen one of you ladies there going back to a man who lives in a shack and say, this one had raped me at that time. Because women have a tendency to rejoice when they go through separation with the man. They have a tendency to rejoice when the man is suffering. So women are are also they are also part of this gender-based violence. So it must not be one-sided. So we will start to look for a color as well, to say, any man, let us go blue. But we don't look for that. So stay safe, stay cool, go back to your roots and check, why did some of these things were put into place by African people, by African traditionalists, by African men and women who sat down to say, how can we practice the issue of Ubuntu? That is the only thing that we must go back to. Ubuntu is the rule of the day, not the constitution. Pangani, have a lovely day. It was just a little morning there. Stay blessed.